Hey Bling crew, welcome back. It is Shannon with blingyourthings.com, and today I'm going to show you how to rhinestone a MakerFlo gel pen. The gel pen is actually one of 3 projects that were in our April Flatback Bling box. Be sure to check out our unboxing video if you would like to see everything that was included in the April Bling box. So I love the MakerFlo gel pens because the prep time with these is literally minimal. There's no clip to take off of these. There's no shaving down mounds of plastic. Literally, all you have to do is take the pen apart, sand it, clean it, and you're ready to go. And with their patent pending design, I could literally use their interchangeable chambers on different pens and pencils. And another benefit is they include an extra ink cartridge refill. Plus, after I bling the pen, it's still going to fit in the packaging if I wanted to sell this to a customer. So step 1 to get started is I'm just going to go ahead and sand this down, and I'm using 120 grit sandpaper to sand down the whole surface. Then I'm going to get all the dust and debris off by cleaning it down with isopropyl alcohol. The second step is to choose your glue. I'm using one of my favorite glues, Super Tight Fusion Tack. It is a white glue that dries clear, and it's perfect for bling projects such as this pen as well as tumblers. You can also use it on fabric, leather, and wood. It does dry in about an hour, but it takes a full 72 hours for it to cure and to be waterproof. This means you shouldn't wash your projects for at least a full 3 days after you're finished. I like to apply my glue with a 5 ml syringe and a 20 gauge blunt tip needle. This is the pink tip needles. I like the amount of glue that comes out with this size, and I have more control over where my glue is going to go. It's really easy to put the glue into the syringe. Just make sure that you have the tip off, pull the plunger out, then squeeze the glue into the syringe. You don't need to put a whole lot in here. I don't like to put the glue back in the bottle after it's been in the syringe, and you really don't need a whole lot of glue to complete this pen project. Then put the plunger back in and push all the glue to the top. The key here is to make sure you don't have any air bubbles. If you have air bubbles in the glue, it will continue to ooze out the end of the blunt tip needle until that air bubble is pushed out. Then screw your blunt tip needle back onto the end and you're ready to go. Then we're going to go ahead and get started on our pattern. All of our patterns include the project that it's made for, so this pen pattern can be made with the MakerFlo gel pens or an Ink Joy gel pen. The patterns include the size of rhinestones you're going to need, the number of stones per row and its height, as well as the total number of rhinestones used. I also include a color key with the number of stones needed per color. And you don't have to follow the colors that are used in the pattern, so feel free to make the design your own and use your own stone colors. And as you can see, the design is not to scale, so it cannot be used to sublimate the pattern onto the pen or cut the design into vinyl and place it onto the pen. The pattern is meant to be a visual guide to follow along so that you know your stone placement to recreate the design. And now for the fun part, the bling. We are using glass rhinestones from Bling Your Things in size SS10. The colors that we are using are amethyst, crystal AB, and tanzanite. If you'd like to create this bling pen for yourself, I will post a link to all the products used in today's video in the description below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you could like this video and subscribe to our channel so that we can keep creating all these fun bling tutorials for you. So now I'm just putting all of my rhinestones in these cute little heart-shaped shaker trays. They have little ridged edges so that then when you shake the tray and the rhinestones go across them, it's going to flip up all of the rhinestones so that they're easier and quicker for you to pick up as you're making your design. The trays also have a lid so you could store your rhinestones in them while you're in between projects. Now I'm going to get started applying the rhinestones to the pen. I'm going to apply a thin line of glue right at the edge of the pen. You don't need a whole lot of glue. You need less than you think you do. If you apply too much glue, it's going to ooze out around the sides of your rhinestones and it's going to make them cloudy and it's going to dull the shine of the stones. For the next step, we're going to apply our rhinestones in the same order as they appear on the pattern directly onto the pen. If this is your first time using a pattern or you just aren't sure how to place them, you can start by matching the rhinestones by color and placing the stones directly on top of the pattern. Then transfer them from the pattern onto your pen in the same order. This is an added step and will take some extra time, but it will help to ensure that you get the stones in the correct order. If you're comfortable enough, you can skip this step and just go ahead and apply the stones directly onto the pen in the same order as the pattern. Now, this next tip that I'm going to show you is very, very important. You don't want to skip this step. Since we are creating a honeycomb design, it is crucial that we keep this base row, the first row, completely straight as it sets the lines for the remaining parts of the design. You want to start by placing your pen upside down on a flat surface. Then take your pickup tool and push all the stones so that they are flush with the flat surface. This is going to ensure that all of your stones in this row all have the same starting point. Plus, I'll show you another tip in a few minutes how you can make sure that you're keeping your line straight throughout the rest of the design. Now you can see that since we did this, all of our stones in this base row are completely straight. And you can also use this tip for your other projects, like working on tumblers. Then I'm going to apply my second line of glue. Again, you don't need a whole lot of glue. Then I'm going to check my pattern to see what order I need to place my rhinestones. And then I'm going to start placing the rhinestones directly into the crevice between the two stones in the prior row. When you're placing this second row and all the preceding rows, you don't want to be cramming your rhinestones into that crevice. You don't want to be packing them in there. They need to kind of be a little bit loose. I say they need room to breathe. And the reason I say this is because there is a sizing tolerance in all rhinestones. Not every rhinestone is going to be the exact same size. It's going to be very, very minimal, like in millimeters sizing difference. But you might have a couple that you place together that one's slightly bigger and the other is slightly smaller. And if you start cramming them all into that row, you're going to start ending up with crooked, like wonky lines as you're going down your design. So after you've placed your row, kind of look at your pen or your tumbler at a different angle. Sometimes your eyes are going to play tricks on you because you're trying to look at something that is a straight line, but it's on a curved surface. So looking at it in a different angle can give you different perspective to make sure that that line's really straight, which leads me into the tip I mentioned a few minutes ago. Now, this can also be used on your tumblers as well as the pens. You can very easily make little tick marks throughout your design that can be used to double check that your lines are staying straight. To do this, you just want to take an item that is stationary, and I'm just using my shaker tray since it's right here and it's what I have. Then I'm going to take the pencil and lay it flat on the stationary item and turn the pen 360 degrees in a complete circle. This is going to give you a completely straight line all the way around the pen. Then you can use this as a guide to confirm that your lines are staying straight. And if you need additional lines, you can continue to stack items up to give you that additional height that you need. I wouldn't recommend making a line for every single line you need to make, but maybe every couple of inches. Again, it's just a guide. And there you can see that I have a completely straight line all the way around my pen. And now if I start to notice that any of my lines are getting a little off, I can make the adjustments to bring them back to straight. And now I'm just going to keep placing my rhinestones in the same order as the pattern. And as we progress, we can see that the pattern is taking its shape. And we'll just finish off these last few rows to complete out the design. Overall, it only took me about an hour from start to finish to complete making the rhinestone pattern, and I used less than 5 gross of rhinestones. Then I'm going to go ahead and put the pen back together. Now, I don't recommend doing this while your glue is still wet. You should allow 72 hours before you wash your pen. To put it back together, you just need to replace the ink cartridge, then place the chamber back on, and then screw the tip back on. And also don't forget that the fully blinged pen will fit back into the original packaging so that you have a presentable product if you were going to sell your bling pens. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and find us on our other social media channels.